All right, so get this. Today, we are diving into Isaac Asimov's Foundation and Empire.
Hmm.
We're talking about a crumbling empire, a mysterious figure known only as the Mule,
Right.
and a science so powerful it can, like, predict the future, sort of.
Yeah, it's fascinating how Asimov uses these, fictional encyclopedia entries alongside the traditional storytelling. It
Right.
gives us this like really incredible view,
Yeah.
of the Foundation's fall from all these different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
We see the big picture, the overarching trends, but then also like the up-close personal drama.
It's like we stumbled upon some kind of like top secret galactic archives or something.
Totally.
Yeah. And speaking of archives, we got to talk about the Foundation,
Right.
built on the principles of psychohistory, which, by the way, is like predicting human behavior,
Yeah.
but like on a massive scale.
Exactly.
They're practically like playing 4D chess with the fate of the galaxy.
They are, yeah. They think they are.
But there's a catch. Even the best chess player can miss a checkmate.
That's exactly it. You'd think a civilization built on predicting the future would be prepared for, well, anything.
Right.
But that's where the Foundation, they kind of trip up a little bit.
Really?
Their unwavering belief in this psychohistory, it kind of becomes their downfall.
So they basically outsmarted themselves.
In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that. Take Mayor Inber, for example.
Okay.
This guy, he's so bogged down in these bureaucratic reports and, just routine, so blinded by the Foundation's past successes that he just ignores these really clear warnings about the Mule.
Huh.
Imagine being so sure of your, inevitable victory
Right.
that you don't even see the threat that's, emerging right in front of you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this Mule then. The Encyclopedia Galactica entries, they're pretty vague.
Yeah.
It's like his origins are just like a complete mystery. No one seems to know like where he comes from, what he wants,
Right.
even what he looks like, really.
And that right there is what makes him, I think, so terrifying. It's not just the vast power that he wields.
Yeah.
It's the uncertainty that surrounds him.
Right.
Fear thrives in the unknown.
Makes sense.
And this lack of information, this mystery, it just makes him a far more potent threat than any conquering army could ever be.
Speaking of conquering armies, we can't forget about General Bel Rios.
Right.
So we have this ambitious general from the dying galactic empire,
Mm-hmm.
and he sees the Foundation as his ticket back to military glory.
Right. Yeah.
He's like this stark reminder that even in the face of all this progress, some people they just cling to the past.
Yeah. Rios he's a classic example of ambition clouding judgment. He's given actually a real chance to understand the Foundation.
Okay.
To adapt to this, this new world order. He even meets Dusem Bar, a psychohistorian who explicitly warns him about the Foundation's resilience
Right.
and the power of Harry Seldon's Seldon plan.
Seldon plan.
It's Seldon, by the way.
Right.
Harry Seldon. He's kind of a big deal, the mastermind behind psychohistory and the Foundation itself.
Dusem Bar.
Right.
Our encyclopedia entries flag him as a pretty important figure.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be important.
But back to Rios, he's so convinced of his own like military genius,
Totally.
so stuck in the old ways of doing things, he just like dismisses Bar's warnings.
Yeah.
He even conquers planets like Loris, thinking he's
Sure.
winning, but he's really just playing into Seldon's long game.
Exactly. Rios' actions, they really make you wonder, are we as humans, are we just like doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past?
Hmm.
Are we destined to cling to these outdated strategies even when the world is, quite literally changing around us? It makes you think, doesn't it? It does. It really does. It's like watching someone try to win a game of chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah.
And speaking of playing a different game, we have to address the elephant, or rather the muley in the room.
Okay.
This guy, he's playing mind games on a whole other level.
He is. Yeah.
Forget about like spaceships and laser beams.
Right.
His weapon of choice is emotion.
Yeah, and what's terrifying is how effectively he uses it.
Yeah.
Take the Visisonar, for instance.
Okay.
This instrument, it's played by a character named Magnifico, and it seems to weaponize despair.
Wait.
We see this chilling effect that it has on Beta and Turan.
Beta and Turan.
Two characters in our story. But yeah, imagine music that could not only influence your emotions, but actually weaponize them.
Hold on. Back up a bit. Who are Beta and Turan?
Right.
And what's with this Magnifico character? He sounds creepy. You're right. We should probably clarify. So Beta and Turan, they're newlyweds.
Okay.
They're from the Foundation.
Okay.
And they're kind of like our eyes and ears throughout this whole ordeal with the mule.
Okay.
And you're right, Magnifico. He is creepy.
Yeah.
Think of him like a court jester, but instead of laughs, he evokes this sense of unease and dread.
Right.
And the way Beta and Turan, they describe his music, right?
Yeah.
It seems to like mirror the exact despair that they felt during those crucial moments in the Foundation's downfall.
Really?
It's like he's tapping into their deepest fears, their anxieties even.
Wow.
It makes you wonder, is this just a coincidence, or is it something more?
Okay. Now that is creepy.
Yeah.
It's like he's like composing soundtracks for their worst nightmares or something.
Right.
But this weaponized despair, this emotional manipulation, I mean, it has to have some limits, right? How do you fight an enemy that can just turn your own feelings against you? Like, how is that even possible?
That is the million credit question, isn't it?
It is.
It's a terrifying thought, really. But while all of this is happening, there's another player on the board,
Okay.
Ebling Miss.
Right.
He stumbles upon these clues about a potential counterforce to the Mule,
Okay.
the Second Foundation.
Wait, the second foundation, is that like I don't know, like the B team or something?
Not exactly a B team, more like a safeguard.
Okay.
You know, see, the Foundation, the one we've been talking about, the one, currently facing the Mule, that's actually the first Foundation.
Okay.
It's built on physical sciences, technology, all those things you'd expect, from a futuristic empire.
Sure.
But Harry Seldon, clever as he was, he knew that even the best laid plans, they can go wrong.
Of course.
And he predicted that the first Foundation, focused as it was on the material world, they might, miss something crucial.
What's
the power of the mind?
So he created like a backup plan.
Exactly, the Second Foundation.
Yeah.
And Ebling, he believes it's a world of mental scientists.
Wow.
Individuals who understand the human mind in ways the first Foundation, they never could.
Okay.
Imagine them like Jedi Knights of the Mind or something.
Jedi Knights of the Mind. I like that.
Wielding the Force, but of emotions.
Okay, so I think I see where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
So while the first foundation is out there like building starships, conquering planets,
Right.
the second foundation is like quietly, secretly developing psychic powers.
Yes.
This is where things get really, really interesting.
Right.
So if we connect this back to the bigger picture, does that mean like the second foundation, they might be the only hope against Mule?
They might be, yeah.
They could actually like understand his powers, maybe even find a way to like resist them.
Possibly, yeah.
But the question is, can they be found in time? And how do you even begin to search for like a secret society of psychic Jedi?
Yeah.
It's like finding, I don't know, a needle in like a galactic haystack.
It's a daunting task. There's no doubt about it. But remember Magnifico?
Magnifico, the creepy clown with the despair music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beta. She notices something peculiar about him.
Okay.
If the Mule is this master manipulator, right?
Sure.
He's controlling everyone around him.
Right.
How come Magnifico seems immune?
Yeah, we talked about this before.
Right.
You're saying he's putting on an act?
Maybe he is.
But why would he go through all that trouble?
That's the million credit question, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
Think back to that scene with the Visa Sonar.
Right.
The instrument Magnifico plays.
Yeah.
The despair that Beta felt during the Foundation's fall, the despair she felt back in the Time Vault.
Right.
She realizes that Magnifico's music, it seems to mirror those exact emotions.
Yeah. So you're suggesting that his music, it's not just like a reflection of the Mule's power, it's like a source of it.
Yeah.
He's like amplifying the Mule's ability.
Exactly. But it goes even deeper than that.
Okay.
Beta, she starts to connect the dots. Magnifico's strange immunity to the Mule's powers,
Mm-hmm.
his haunting music, the way he seems to be at the center of all of this emotional turmoil.
Right.
And she arrives at this really shocking realization.
What is it? Come on, you can't leave me hanging like that.
She begins to suspect that Magnifico and the Mule,
Yeah.
they're one and the same.
What?
No way.
No way. You're telling me that this like all-powerful psychic mutant
Yeah.
who's been like conquering the galaxy
Mhm.
is a creepy clown with a weird instrument?
It sounds crazy, I know, but that's the beauty of it.
That is kind of crazy.
Asimov, he wants us to question everything, look beyond the surface, you know?
Right.
He's showing us that the most dangerous enemy, they can hide behind the most unexpected mask.
So what does this mean for Beta and Torin then?
Yeah.
They've been traveling with the Mule this whole time.
Right.
Completely unaware of his true identity.
Exactly. They are in a more precarious position than they realize. And poor Ibling Miss, buried in his research, no idea he's been sharing a spaceship with the enemy all along.
This is too much. So what happens next?
Right.
Does anyone find out about the Mule's real identity?
Well.
So last time we left off, Beta and Torin, they were in a pretty tough spot, trapped in this like web of suspicion and on the run from the Mule.
Right. And his influence just seems to be spreading like wildfire across the galaxy.
Yeah. It's not looking good. What hope is there left?
Well, it does seem pretty bleak. Yeah, you're right. But amidst all the chaos and uncertainty,
Yeah.
remember Ibling Miss?
Ibling Miss, right.
While Beta and Torin are out there dealing with the Mule's, expanding control, he's on this desperate quest of his own.
Right.
Digging deeper into the mysteries of the Second Foundation.
Right. He's like a lone archaeologist or something, trying to unearth this lost civilization while the world's falling apart around him.
And the more he uncovers about this Second Foundation, the more intriguing it gets.
Okay.
Remember we were talking about the First Foundation.
Yeah.
All about the physical sciences, technology, all that.
Right, right.
The Second Foundation, it's the flip side of that coin.
Yeah.
They're masters of the mind.
Okay.
Mentalics, psychologists, people who understand like the subtle nuances of human emotion.
It's like that old saying, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah.
Only in this case, it's the mind is mightier than the spaceship.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Harry Seldon, the architect behind it all.
Yeah.
He knew that even the most advanced technology, it couldn't account for every variable.
Right, right.
Especially the unpredictable nature of individuals.
Yeah, of course.
He foresaw that a force like the Mule,
right,
someone who could manipulate emotions, turn people against each other.
Of course, yeah.
He knew someone like that might emerge. The Second Foundation, with their understanding of the mind, that was his answer to that.
So it's like Seldon set up like these two lines of defense.
Yeah.
The first foundation to, build a physical empire.
Right.
And then the second foundation, operating in secrecy, they act as this safeguard against this like mental manipulation.
Precisely. But here's the problem. Even Ibling Miss, with all his research, he doesn't actually know where to find them.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
It's like searching for a whisper in a hurricane.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the Mule is tightening his grip on the galaxy.
Right.
What chance do they have against that kind of power? Especially if he can turn even the most loyal people against each other.
It's a David and Goliath situation, no doubt about it. But sometimes the most unexpected weapon can bring down a giant.
What do you mean?
Remember Magnifico?
Magnifico, yeah.
The creepy clown with the despair-inducing music.
Yeah.
Beta, she's been paying close attention to him, and
right,
she notices something curious.
Okay.
While everyone else seems to be affected by the Mule's emotional manipulation,
yeah,
Magnifico seems strangely immune.
Right. We talked about this before. You think he's putting on an act, but why go through all that trouble?
That's the real question, isn't it?
It is.
Think back to that scene with the Visi Sonore.
Okay.
The instrument that Magnifico plays,
Right,
the despair that Beta felt during the Foundation's fall.
Right.
The despair she felt in the Time Vault, remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
She realizes that Magnifico's music, it seems, to mirror those exact emotions.
Wait a minute. You're suggesting that his music, it isn't just like a reflection of the mule's power.
Yeah.
It's a source of it. He's like amplifying the mule's abilities or something.
Exactly. It goes even deeper than that, though.
Yeah.
Beta, she starts to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Magnifico's strange immunity, his
Oh.
haunting music, the way he seems to be at the center of all
Yeah.
this emotional turmoil.
Right.
And she arrives at this truly shocking realization.
What is it? What is it? Don't leave me hanging.
She begins to suspect that Magnifico and the mule are one and the same.
What? You're telling me that this all-powerful, like, psychic mutant who's been, like, conquering the galaxy
Yeah.
is a creepy clown with a weird instrument?
It sounds crazy, I know.
It's insane.
But that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Asimov, he wants us to question everything.
Right.
To look beyond the surface.
Yeah.
He's showing us that the most dangerous enemy, they can hide behind the most unexpected mask.
So what does that mean for Beta and Torin then? They've been traveling with the mule this whole time,
Yep.
completely unaware of his true identity.
Exactly. They're in a far more precarious position than they realize. And poor Ebling Miss,
Sibling miss, yeah.
buried in his research, he has no idea that he's been sharing a spaceship with the enemy all along.
This is too much. So what happens? Does anyone find out about the mule's true identity? Where is this second foundation? Can they actually defeat him?
Well, that, my friend, is a story for another time. Asimov, he leaves us with more questions than answers, but, that's part of what makes his work so captivating. He forces us to think, to grapple with these big ideas, and to never underestimate the power of the human mind, for better or for worse.
This whole deep dive, this has been a wild ride.
It really has.
We've explored the fall of a mighty empire, the rise of this mysterious, terrifying figure, and the desperate search for this hidden power that could, like, tip the scales.
And along the way, we've encountered ambition, betrayal, resilience, and this enduring power of the human spirit. Asimov reminds us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, there's always hope. As long as there are people willing to fight for a better future, the story, it's never truly over.